Books with Brandywine, and I'm so excited to get to do this tag. I've been seeing it pop up all over YouTube, and I really want to do it because it is finally fall. And I love fall. Fall is my favorite holiday, my favorite season. I love all the different colors. I love just how cold it gets, and I get to wrap up in all my blankets. Summertime's cool, but it's hot, and I don't get to wrap up in my blankets. But in fall and autumn, it is blanket season and book season. I get to do a lot of reading during those months. So let's get into the book tag. It was originally done by Tall Tales, and I will tag her video in the comments below. So the first question is, in the fall, air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. So the book that I chose for this one is The Sword of Shannara. You can kind of see the title. It's a little red in this lighting. Well, I mean, it's red anyway. But I chose this book because Terry Brooks goes super, I mean, you can see how thick it is. He goes super into detail about everything, all the settings, everybody's clothes, just like every single thing. He goes super into detail. And at first I was like, this is taking forever. But it really gets you into the world. You can really imagine everything that's around you, and I love that. I really wish more authors went into as much detail as he does. So the second one is, nature is beautiful but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with a heavy topic like loss or grief. Loss or grief. Loss or grief. You know what? I think I'm going to have to do nonfiction for that one. I have all my nonfiction shelves on the bottom. There it is. I got it. Okay. So this is Embracing Defeat, and it is nonfiction. It's written about Japan after World War II and the devastation after the bombs. It talks about just people's lives, what they ended up going through. It talks about just horrible things like this one lady's kimono was burnt, like the pattern of the kimono was burned into her back from the bombs. But it really does talk a lot about how Japan rose from those ashes. And I can't think of anything more devastating and more grief-filled than your country being bombed by nuclear bombs. And I understand what had to be done, and I'm glad that the war ended, but it is a very sad, very heavy part of our history. And I read this book when I was in high school. I want to read it again because I don't remember very much of it. That was my junior year. But I definitely this is a good book, and I would suggest it to anyone. Let's see. Number 3 is Fall is Back to School Season. Share a nonfiction book that taught me something new. Okay, back to nonfiction. Okay, pretty much every nonfiction book teaches me something. Otherwise, I wouldn't read them. Let's do rule number 2. It's not the most recent nonfiction book I've read, but I read it when I was going through some of my first responder classes because I wanted to be an EMT. I didn't end up taking the EMT class for financial reasons, but I felt like I should read as much stuff as I could that talked about just medical situations so that I would be more prepared for them. Obviously, I wasn't going to be in a war situation, but this book is heart-wrenching, I would say. It's called Rule Number 2, Lessons I Learned in the Combat Hospital. Rule number 1 is that young men are going to die, and rule number 2 is that you can't do a thing about it. This was written from a psychologist. I can never remember the difference, but that served in Afghanistan, I believe it was. Sorry, I read this book like 3 years ago. It doesn't say. I'm pretty sure it was Afghanistan, not Iraq. But it talks about just, even though she was a psychologist, she still ended up being in the medical side of it. And the things that she saw were huge like mind-blowing, mind-opening for me. And I would recommend this book for everyone, but if you are going to read it, beware that it's very detailed and it could be triggering depending on what your background is. But it does show you what really goes on there. Really, really, really good book, but very, yeah. Obviously I'm not a soldier, and I never will be. I could not handle the things that go on there. But a lot of my family and friends are soldiers and airmen and just like all different branches of the military, and reading about it, like some of them will share their stories, but most of them won't, and reading about it just helps me a little bit more know what they had to go through. Maybe not necessarily understand or be able to help them with what they're going through, but it definitely helps me to know what they were going through. So anyway, back to the book tag. Number 4. In order to keep warm, it's good to spend time with the people we love. Name a fictional family, household, friend group that you'd like to be a part of. Okay, that's hands down. I want to be a part of the Ron, Harry, Hermione, Neville, and I love good group. One, I'd get to be in the Hogwarts universe, which would be totally awesome because Hogwarts is like mega cool. I mean, you constantly have people trying to kill you because Voldemort's psycho, but you'd get to be in the wizarding world and have all the awesome wizarding treats and all the awesomeness that goes with that. So I definitely would want to be in their group. Plus, they're a pretty good group. Like, they've always got each other's backs. And except for that one spat. But, well, a few spats. Okay, Harry and Ron have an interesting thing. And they did start off pretty bad with Hermione, but they became besties and Hermione and Ron got married. And I actually think they're great together. I know not everybody agrees, but I love them together. Okay, number 5. The colorful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us a pile of fall-colored spines. I'm assuming that's like golds and reds because of autumn leaves and burgundies. Heavy. I have a lot of burgundies. This pile is going to be way too heavy for me to pick up. But we're going to do this anyway. Alright. Let's see if I can balance this. Do them on maybe too purple. Okay. Okay. These are my fall colors. Reds, some golds, a country living book. I love that book. It's so awesome. It talks about how to raise chickens and cook and other random stuff that I think people should know. I think it's important. Okay. I mean, you might never actually need it in your life, but why not? Why not learn cool stuff? Okay. Okay, so the next one, number 6. Fall is the perfect time for storytelling by the fireside. Share a book wherein someone is telling a story. I think I grabbed that one for... Yes, I did. Grabbed that for my fall stack. Okay, so I chose Ready Player One. This book, the whole book is told by the narrator, and it's him going back and telling us what happened in the events that led up to the solving of the challenge that was given to them. The movie just recently came out. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know how the movie is, but the book is awesome. The book is entirely like 80s references, but it is told from his story. And in fact, I think it even says, like, this is my story. But it's in here somewhere. I think it's like at the end of the first chapter, he's like, this is my story, which is really cool and epic. Let's see, number 7. The nights are getting darker. Share a dark, creepy read. Okay, so I've mentioned before, I don't really read dark, creepy stuff. So the only book that could come to my mind was a book that I have already shared before, which is Death Troopers. I still don't have it. It's good. I want to read it again. The last time I read it, I only got quarter of the way through or halfway through. I can't remember how far, because I was reading it at the bookstore because I was in high school, and that's what I did back then. And that was back when they still had Walden's bookstores. If any of you guys remember Walden's bookstores, they were part of Borders bookstores, which unfortunately is no longer around anymore, which is sad because I love all bookstores. I get sad when any of them close, but I particularly loved the competition that was between Borders and Barnes & Noble, because then we got really good 50% off coupons that I never get anymore. But there's this scene in Death Troopers. So the plot is there's this prison barge that is going through outer space, obviously, and they come across, I believe it's another ship. I don't think it was a planet. I'm pretty sure it was a ship. And when they get on the ship, it's completely deserted. And there's a scene where they're walking around and they come across this laboratory. And I don't remember the name of the doctor. I don't even remember if he was still alive in the book. I know when they wandered into his laboratory, he wasn't there. And there's just jars everywhere, and they're filled with like body parts and mutations and just all this really disgusting, gross stuff. So, well, it's definitely creepy. And of course, you know, Death Troopers end up popping up because of a virus that, I'm pretty sure was a virus that was on the ship. I definitely want to read that book again. I want to finish it. I want to find out what happens. So the 8th question is, the days are getting colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold, rainy day. So I don't really do heartwarming, I guess, is what it said. I mean, definitely some of the fantasy novels and stuff that I read, like, tug at your heartstrings and can be considered heartwarming. Sorry, it's getting uncomfortable sitting like that. But the first book that comes to my mind, I know this is a fall tag, but it's a Christmas book. It's called The Christmas Jars, and it's like that big. It's really, really thin. It's a very fast read, but it tells the story. This girl is going through because I'm trying to remember where the story starts. But the whole book revolves around these Christmas jars, which are these huge jars that people fill with coins, and then they drop them off anonymously at other people's houses. And it kind of started like rippling, like people would get one of these Christmas jars, and then they would start leaving them for other people, and then other people, and then other people. And she's trying to find out who started this Christmas jars tradition. And she finds them eventually, and it ends up affecting her life. And because there's a part of the story for the first Christmas jar that she doesn't know, but it's trying to think how to phrase it without actually giving anything away, because I want you to read it. It's really good. But she finds out that it's very much has to do with her family story. Let's put it that way. So I would definitely suggest it. It's a super small book, but it's super heartwarming, and I know it's fall and this is a Christmas book, but I mean, you gotta get started on your Christmas jars now, or like last year, because like you need to do it. I'm trying to remember what the author's name is. I think I have another book by him. One second. I do. I have another book by him. So his name is Jason F. Wright, and he's awesome. I'm pretty sure it's the same person. The book that I have from him is The Wedding Letters, which is the sequel to The Wednesday Letters, which I've actually had this book for like 10 years and haven't read it yet. I need to do that. Anyway, but I'm pretty sure it's the same author. So let's see here. Number 9. Fall, luckily it is my favorite season. She says that, but it is my favorite season. Returns every year. Name a favorite that you'd like to return to soon. Ooh, I've been doing that. Like, I've been interspersing my books with books that I read as a kid and been returning to them. The one that's currently on my list I could have sworn it was behind me. Aha! It's behind me. It's directly behind me. Is the 21 Balloons. And actually this, I guess, would have fallen under the same category as someone telling a story. Because this gentleman here went on a trip in a hot air balloon. Which is perfect timing. Oh, I should have read it this week. We just had the hot air balloon fiesta. I should have read it. But anyway, he goes on a hot air balloon. And he crash lands on a volcanic island. And while he's there, he finds all these families. And I think there's 21 families. It's either 21 families or 21 people. But I'm pretty sure the families were like a mom, a dad, a son, and a daughter. Like every single family. So I'm pretty sure it was 21 families. And they won't let him leave because he's their prisoner. And if he leaves, then the whole world will find out about their awesome island. But then things happen. And which is where the 21 balloons come in. You will find that out at the very end. But he's telling his story of what happens because he lands in San Francisco, I think it is, or somewhere. And he has these diamond cufflinks. And they're like, dude, you did not leave with diamond cufflinks. Bro, tell us what's going on. So it's a really, really good book. It's really short. I read it when I was in elementary school, but I really want to go back and read it because I haven't read it since elementary school, and I loved that story. It's fun. All right. Number 10, the final question. Fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Share your favorite cozy reading accessories. Okay, so I am a blanket person. Like, no joke, I am obsessed with blankets. And so, these are two of my favorites. They're super cuddly and soft and wonderful. And they smell like my toddler because I've been letting him sleep on them the last couple nights because it's been really cold. But I collect blankets. I have like 6 blankets out just right now in this room waiting to be cuddled in. Plus I have a bunch that I haven't unpacked yet because it gets really hot here in the summer. And now it's winter. Well, it's fall. And I need to get my blankets out so I can cuddle. Sometimes I will also have snacks, but I usually don't like to get anything that's going to get my book dirty. So that depends on what I've got around at the time. I can't think of anything else I need to read. I can read anywhere, anytime, any setting. I just need my book, and then when I'm home I get to have my cozy blankets. But yeah, I don't know yet who I'm going to tag in this video, so I will put the tagged people down in the description. But thank you so much for watching this video. I loved getting to do the Finally Fall tag. Definitely go and check out her original video, and even just put Finally Fall in the YouTube search and you will find tons of Finally Fall tag videos because she posted it last year. So a lot of people have had a chance to do it. Go ahead and like this video and subscribe so you can see my future videos. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And put down in the comments below what are some of your favorite fall reads or what books are you looking forward to reading this fall. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday.